Billionaires spend millions on things no sane person would ever think to buy. Some turn private jets into flying mansions with Turkish baths and concert halls. Others design entire skyscrapers with staff for hundreds, just to live there alone. One gave his cat an iPad, a personal chef, and $3 million in inheritance. And another commissioned a gold toilet worth more than a Beverly Hills home. But these are some of the most stupidly expensive things billionaires use to spend their money on, and what follows might shock you. This $15 million iPhone, designed by Stuart Hughes, is made of 24-karat gold and embedded with 600 white diamonds. The home button alone is a 26-karat black diamond. It works like any other iPhone, but if you drop this one, you're not cracking a screen. You're destroying a mansion. This device wasn't mass-produced, and only a handful of ultra-wealthy individuals had access to it. The phone came in a solid platinum case as an option too, and was often purchased as a symbolic item rather than something for day-to-day use. It was marketed directly to elite clients royalty, oil magnates, tech moguls, who wanted more than the latest model. They wanted exclusivity, identity, and status in the palm of their hand. Owning this iPhone said, "Even my notifications are wrapped in diamonds." The sheer impracticality of it only made it more appealing to those who live above logic. Then there's the gold toilet. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian allegedly had 2 of them, costing $750,000 each. That's $1.5 million for something built to be flushed. And yes, the pipes are gold too. It's the kind of flex that transcends luxury and enters the realm of satire. Each toilet was reportedly crafted by a luxury bathroom manufacturer that specializes in custom fixtures for the ultra-rich. The seats were temperature-controlled, the flush system was digitally operated, and the gold finish was polished by hand. These weren't just toilets, they were technological sculptures. And then to complete the setup, the bathrooms featured chandeliers above the stalls and custom marble flooring imported from Italy. It was less a place for relief and more a gilded monument to excess. Because when your home is worth $60 million, why settle for porcelain? Fashion mogul Karl Lagerfeld gave his cat Choupette a lifestyle more extravagant than most humans. Choupette had 2 maids, her own chef, flew on private jets, and had a full-time social media manager. When Lagerfeld died, he left her $3 million. She is, quite literally, a millionaire cat. But Choupette was more than just a pet, she became a brand. She starred in advertising campaigns, had her own line of luxury accessories, and amassed tens of thousands of followers on Instagram. She traveled first class when not flying private, and sat in designer bags worth thousands of dollars. In her Paris apartment, she had her own room, complete with a canopy bed and silk sheets. For Lagerfeld, Choupette was the embodiment of style, and he made sure the world knew it. And then there's the man who tried to turn a plane into a palace. Saudi Prince Al Walid bin Talal planned to convert an Airbus A380 into a $600 million flying mansion. The blueprints included a Turkish bath, gold-plated fixtures, a garage for his Rolls-Royce, and even a glass floor to see the clouds beneath. The plane was going to feature a rotating prayer room that always faced Mecca, velvet-clad lounges, voice-controlled climate zones, and private suites resembling 5-star hotel rooms. Eventually, the project was scrapped, but not before hundreds of millions were reportedly spent on planning and design. The jet was also rumored to include a spiral staircase and an elevator that would transport the prince from the runway directly into his lounge deck. A holographic projection room was on the list, allowing 3 visual meetings mid-flight, and the galley would have been operated by chefs trained in Michelin-starred kitchens. Engineers from across Europe were brought in to explore the feasibility of re-engineering the aircraft's internal layout. None of it was off-limits. It wasn't just a private plane. It was meant to be a flying kingdom. And speaking of ridiculous real estate, the one in Bel Air was a 105,000-square-foot mega mansion once listed at $500 million. It had 20 bedrooms, a nightclub, multiple infinity pools, a private theater, a salon, and even a bowling alley. After a decade of construction and endless debt, the house went into foreclosure. The developer, Niall Niami, once dubbed it the most expensive home in America. It had a 360-degree view of Los Angeles, a 50-car garage, and a moat. Yes, a literal moat. The main bedroom alone was over 4,000 square feet, and the property included a sky deck, champagne room, and jellyfish tanks embedded into the walls. Celebrities toured it. Billionaires visited, but no one bought it. Its price kept dropping, and eventually it was auctioned off for a fraction of its projected value. It became a symbol, not just of wealth, but of unchecked ambition and how even the richest can overreach. But billionaire absurdity doesn't stop at gold and square footage. There was the diamond-encrusted Mercedes-Benz owned by Saudi Prince Emir. Covered in over 300,000 diamonds, it was so fragile, it couldn't be driven above 40 mph without risking damage. The car wasn't for driving, it was for looking at. Valued at $4.8 million, it remains one of the most expensive, least practical vehicles ever created. Or how about the man who gifted a rapper a Lamborghini as an apology? When Lil Wayne was detained briefly in Saudi Arabia, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman reportedly sent him a black Lamborghini and a Frank Muller watch to say sorry. Nothing says forgiveness quite like handing someone a $300,000 supercar. Even weddings become arenas of billionaire overkill. One Indian tycoon famously spent $100 million on his daughter's wedding. The guest list included Beyoncé, who was paid millions to perform, and the entire five-star hotel was booked out for weeks. The wedding invitations were delivered in jewel-encrusted gold boxes, because apparently regular envelopes just don't cut it. And then there's the $250 million custom mansion built to house a single art collection. Billionaire businessman Ken Griffin reportedly built a private museum in Florida to display a portion of his collection. The building, not open to the public, just for him and occasionally his guests. Because when you spend nearly $1 billion on art, you want the walls to match. Even worse are the investments in vanity. A Chinese billionaire once paid $1.5 million to have his face carved onto the side of a mountain. Another funded the development of a fully gold-plated suit of armor for his dog. Yes, you read that right. A golden armor set for a Pomeranian. The stupidity stretches into space. Billionaires are now racing to colonize the stars. Jeff Bezos spent billions to build Blue Origin and famously launched himself into suborbital space for less than 5 minutes. Richard Branson did the same with Virgin Galactic. And Elon Musk? He's building rockets that might never reach Mars. But the competition isn't about science. It's about bragging rights. The rich aren't just buying land or islands anymore. They're trying to buy the future. And as ridiculous as this all sounds, it doesn't stop. Another billionaire built a private island resort with no guests. It's staffed 24/7. The golf course is watered. The flowers are fresh. The food deliveries arrive on schedule. But no one ever visits. Why? Because he might show up. One day, there's even a luxury submarine shaped like a swan, custom built for a European oligarch. Price tag? $90 million. It has a velvet-lined interior, a minibar, and underwater windows shaped like feathers. He called it graceful deterrence. Let's not forget the man who built a private racetrack behind his house complete with pit crew, timing systems, and imported foam asphalt. He spent $70 million to drive in circles alone. These aren't purchases. They're performances. Billionaires use money to bend reality. The gold iPhone? It's not for texting. The $1.5 million toilet? Not for comfort. The flying palace? Not for transportation. These are all declarations. Signals that say, I live in a world where nothing means anything, except how much it costs. At this level of wealth, stupidity isn't a side effect. It's the brand. So, what would you buy if logic didn't apply? A mountain shaped like your head? A spaceship for your dog? A private concert from Elvis hologram? Whatever you're imagining, someone out there has already tried it and probably paid cash. Because in the world of the ultra-rich, there's no limit to money or to madness.